Hello, wonderful, beautiful people. How are you? Well, today I'm back. I'm back from my weekend of plant medicine ayahuasca. So I wanted to give you a little bit of feedback on that and to share with you some interviews that I did whilst I was there. So let's get into it, and I'll see you on the other side. So I've been going to ayahuasca retreats now for, I think, 5 years, I would say 5 years. And I've always gone with the same person, the same shaman, which is Manuel. Why? Because he works in Spain, he's local, but really the truth of the matter is that I go to Manuel's retreats because they probably must be one of the best that's out there. How do I know that when I haven't had experience with others? Well, I've talked to a lot of people who have done other retreats. Lots of people who go to Manuel's retreat also have had other experiences. And when I ask them, what was that like? Invariably, they say, it was great, but nothing compared to Manuel's. Why? What's different? Well, Manuel's not what you would call a purist. Because what he's done is he's taken the idea of the ayahuasca experience and he's made it his own by adding music. He's a musician, so he has his guitar there and various other instruments as well. His assistant Kike is there with the bongos, and it's just this night of heavy experience, as Manuel described it. The music is there to make it a little bit easier because the experience of immersing yourself in plant medicine is tough. I mean, it is not for the faint-hearted. And the people, that's why I admire the people who attend, and all ages, all ranges, you know, mix of male, female. I mean, you know, the women who come there and they're on their own, I was thinking, bloody hell, how brave. Because you've got to be brave. Yeah, it's not an easy journey. However, it's life-changing. So this weekend, I went there, and the first night, because I'm very sensitive to ayahuasca, I don't need to take a lot. So I take what's called a beginner's dose, which is what Manuel gives to people who are just starting so that they don't get a shock. So they have like an easy go into it. What happens with beginners, typically, for whatever reason, when I see beginners there, they're the ones who repeat and they have another cup and another cup, much more than people who've done it for a while. So I think it's very gentle on beginners. It's more gentle with beginners than anything else. But my first night, it was lovely and I was into it and it was really nice and I was getting some great messages, and then it stopped like really early and I had to ask for some more what they call harmel, which is like the sister of ayahuasca, and it kind of keeps things going. The second night I took a little bit more, and I took a bit more harmel as well. And so I had at the beginning quite a scary experience. It was quite like aggressive. That's the way that I felt. And they kind of said that. I'm saying they because they talked to me. They kind of said, you know, this is aggressive, this is very masculine. Ayahuasca is a feminine plant, obviously. Feminine energy, but it came through very masculine. However, this message that I got was this all of the time. When I'm in ayahuasca, what I've been doing, and I've noticed this is my life, that I comment on what I'm seeing. Like this constant commentary of this is, oh, look at this, and what does that mean? Always looking for meaning, trying to project meaning onto what I'm, and you know, that's mad. Because if you want to try and project meaning onto what you see in the visuals with ayahuasca, you're wasting your time. And that's what I was doing. And so this time the message that I got was just this voice cat kept saying, no comments, stop the comments, stop commenting. And And I did, and I was able just to observe. And that was nice, because it kind of set me free a little bit. Because this observation of, I'm going to tell you what it's about. And I understand, I've had this, like, since you wake up, you start looking at things and you start making judgments about whether it's good or bad, or whether it's right or wrong, or whether they're trying to control you. Is this propaganda, whatever? You've got to be on the ball. But if it becomes a habit where you're doing it all of the time, it's very difficult to be in the present moment. And it was at the beginning that I was saying something, and the medicine said to me, yeah, I used to think like that. And I said, oh, really? And then what happened? And it said, and now I just don't think. And even though it doesn't like, oh, I just don't think. The message was, I just am. There's that expression. Sometimes I sit and think, but sometimes I just sit. That was what the message was. That you don't need to be constantly ruminating about things. Sometimes you can just observe them. And that was the lesson that I've had this weekend. And another lesson, which was hilarious, because when you're in ayahuasca, obviously all kinds of stuff is happening. None of it is real. None of it's real. But this time, and it happened before as well, she was taking me down these stories. And they were like news stories. Like from the news, this girl, this is what happens to this girl, and blah, blah, blah. And I was there going, wow, well, dearie me, that's terrible. It was never a good story. It was always like something terrible happened. That's terrible. That's not fair. And then I had to catch myself and say, hang on a minute, this isn't real. This isn't real. And then I kind of would come out of it, and she would smile and laugh and go, nearly got you. And then it would start again. And I would go down another story, this man, and what happened to this man, and blah, blah. And I'll go, well, that's terrible. And then, hang on a minute, this isn't real. And the lesson that I took from it is this need that we have to believe things and to find truth in things. And really, the truth is very questionable. And when in the truth movement, when we get all of this information and it's saying this happened and he said this and this is what happened, many times it's not true, or it's a stark manipulation of the truth. And that was something that message that came through of, don't believe everything, don't take it on face value, and don't give of yourself to that belief. Just because it's quite plausible. And hey, ayahuasca was these were plausible stories. I go, wow, never in the world. And it was a load of rubbish. And I wonder how many stories we've been told that are a load of rubbish. I wonder. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you with some of the interviews that I did this weekend with some beautiful people. Thank you so much for doing the interviews. And I managed to interview the shaman as well, Manuel. If you're interested in maybe experiencing that here in Spain, contact me and I can get some more information. Also, I will put a link for Manuel's music in the video, because he does some beautiful music. Well, here we are with Manuel. Finally, Manuel is appearing on the video. I've talked about him a lot. This is our shaman, Manuel. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Manuel, you've been leading ayahuasca ceremonies for a long time now, haven't you? How long?
20 years. More than 20 years.
20 years.
Hey.
And why did you start? How did it happen?
Well, I trained as a clinical psychologist and psychotherapist, so I was in that profession, and I was working first with addiction. Mm-hmm. And I saw that the conventional psychotherapy had very limited success, like maybe 30% success rate was already like the best we could aim at. And then I met this Brazilian group of people that were doing ceremonies, ayahuasca ceremonies in London. I was living in London at the time. And lots of them, they had histories of addiction. And they were able to heal from that, participating in ayahuasca rituals. So that really caught my attention. It's like, wow, this maybe can be like a good way of treating addiction. So my first steps into the ayahuasca world was working in a jungle clinic. It was like a little place in the Brazilian Amazon. There were like a dozen of huts in the middle of the jungle, and we brought like groups, like a dozen people struggling with addiction, and the treatment there was weekly ayahuasca sessions in the middle of the jungle.
So we're here with Gabby, and Gabby's going to tell us a little bit about her experience with ayahuasca, with the retreat, etc. So, was this your first time with ayahuasca?
No, this was my third time during the retreat. So I did it like the last in 2020 and in 2022.
Okay.
And this time now. So I come anytime I feel like I need it. So there's no special moments. Just when I feel like it.
And why were you drawn to ayahuasca the first time?
So the first time I heard it by my boyfriend, and it was mostly like curiosity. I didn't read much about it because I wanted to come like open and just to receive whatever message and it was great. Like I got so many like healing in terms of like experience that I had like in my childhood and with my dad, with my mom, and it has helped me a lot with the relationship with them and others also.
And here we are with Unai.
Hi.
Hiya, thank you for doing this interview with us. How was your experience with ayahuasca this weekend?
Wow. It was an amazing experience. I felt a lot of healing. I came with the purpose of like getting light in my professional area, but in the end, it didn't give me anything about that, and it gave me a lot of light in some other areas in my life, like my personal relationships, my family. A lot of light in terms of why I'm doing things in my life, which I'm not happy with. Yeah, it was kind of a roller coaster, like giving me a lot of insights, then changing my mind completely, go to enjoy more with the group, then coming back to myself, and the music helped a lot as well. It's like it becomes like a really familiar atmosphere in which you can heal profoundly. Yeah.
Sure.
And the success rate was phenomenal. It was really good. So I started with working with addiction, and then slowly, like people from all walks of life start coming, and now mostly it's for spiritual reasons or self-development, people that want to get to know themselves better. From time to time there is people struggling with addiction issues that come, but that's not any longer like the main work. So that's why I started like looking for like a useful way of treating people.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Have you always come with Manuel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've travelled over from the UK, yeah? You work in the UK, don't you? Yeah.
And it's really easy. It's just like an hour and a half.
Sure.
Like 3 hours, and I mean Manuel is like super great. It's one of the most important people in my life right now. So it's someone that you can talk to about anything. He will help. It's just like amazing, yeah.
Sure,
Really
yeah.
good man.
Has it always been easy with ayahuasca, or have you had difficult moments?
I've had difficult moments, like for example, the first time, obviously we don't know how it feels like, we don't know. So that moment is like, you feel it very strongly, everything. But it's really nice just to be relaxed. Like also like Manuel, he helps you a lot dealing with anything if you're feeling it very strong. And it's just super important to be breathing, relax, and just to be feeling everything but open. And I mean the good and the bad is just amazing in both ways. So
This isn't your first time with ayahuasca. You've done it a number of times now, haven't you?
Yeah, this is not my first time. I think it's my 10th time.
Wow.
Yeah, and but every one of them is so different. That's why I kind of come always a bit nervous. But yeah, all of them, for me at least, are very healing. I cry a lot. I can feel the healing going through my body, like with warmness and a lot of love to myself. All the things that I'm kind of lost in the last few years, and giving me answers and direction. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. And for example, last night you were saying that you had 3 doses of the medicine.
Yeah.
Is that normal for you?
Yeah, kind of normal. I normally have 2, and yeah, sometimes I have 3. With the numbers of sessions that I had, I'm becoming more conscious about where I am at the moment, and if I want to go deeper in some areas, I take more, and then it takes me there. So because when I took one yesterday, I felt it in my body and in my mind, but I knew I wasn't there, like in that place that I call it the place in which your body kind of disappears, and then you connect with the plant completely, and it takes me to that special place. So I know when I'm there, and I know when I'm not there.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm fine not being there, like enjoying in a different way, but I know that if I want to heal nicely, I need to go to that place. So that's why I take
Okay.
it.
And so a ceremony typically is a weekend, sort of a Friday night, Saturday night. And you don't just work in Spain, you travel around, don't you?
I travel a lot. I work in Hungary, in Italy, Switzerland, Slovenia, Estonia, Romania, Bulgaria, Denmark. Apart from England, I used to do like many years ago, but after Brexit,
Yeah, they ruined that one then.
Yay.
Yeah. What would you say to people who maybe are thinking about it, who have concerns about it?
Well, I would tell them to go and work with somebody that they know about, that they have good references, because it's a work that it can be very powerful, and for that reason it can put participants in a vulnerable state. So it's very important that you know that the person guiding the ceremony, and also that the group, it has a good energy, that it's safe, that is going to be respectful and taking care of you. So yeah, please don't go with taking ayahuasca with somebody that you don't know about.
Sure.
Yeah, very important.
Sure. And do you think that ayahuasca will be part of your life for a while?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it has become part of me now, and like it will stay with me. Yeah.
And just the last question, because it's something that happens to me ever since I started with ayahuasca. It's always present in my mind. I think a lot about it. I mean, I don't think there's a day passes when I haven't had a thought about retreat or ayahuasca. Does that happen to you?
Completely. I mean, I can see in my daily life hints, like signs, synchronicities that it means. And it's there always to remind you, I'm here, I'm like caring for you, and like, so yeah, it feels like we're not alone, so we're one, and sometimes you can just maybe just to, I don't know, it's just so beautiful. Yeah.
What would you say to people who maybe are thinking about ayahuasca or maybe looking at it? What advice would you give them?
For sure, I will recommend it completely. Another thing that happens to me every time I come is like a lot of people from my life come to my mind because I want to help them. I just want to tell them, come here, please, like do it, because it's such a nice thing. Like, and it's impossible to explain with words. But I know it's good for people because it gives us insights and the opportunity to connect more with love and with ourselves, to be able to be happier and to have better relationships and to interact much better with the universe, with the world, with nature, with everything, with something that is very difficult to get without this medicine.
And the nice thing, I think, what I like about what you do is before I used to think if I were going to have ayahuasca, I was going to have to go to Brazil. And of course now, there's opportunities more local. Yeah. So, what would you say would be the biggest benefit that you've had from the work that you've done?
The first thing that I noticed was that my relationship with my family and my loved ones improved a lot, because with ayahuasca I could understand and see some blockages or grudges, resentment that I had, and I didn't know that I had. I thought everything was good and okay, there were no any major issues. But then with ayahuasca I saw that there were like some lingering resentments there, and seeing that helped me to forgive myself, forgive others, and open the heart. And it really improved a lot my relationship with my loved ones. That's like the first thing that I noticed.
For me, for example, something I want to share is in my previous retreats, I had like a physical pain, like in my back, and that has been gone in the last retreat. So
wow.
It's not also like just mental, but also it can be physical sometimes. So it's great. Like
sure.
Ayahuasca can cure in many ways. So.
Sure. Yeah, lots of people talk about having tremendous help with physical addictions, also with illnesses and things like that.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, Gabby, thank you very much for sharing some time with us.
Thank you.
So, recommended, yeah?
Yeah, totally recommended, yeah. I mean, it's hard, but we need courage to do it, but when you do it, is the good thing, yeah. Fantastic. For sure, yeah.
Okay, well,
totally
thank you.
Recommended.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, Gordon. Your music as well is amazing. If people don't know you, it's like, wow, it takes you somewhere else. It makes you connect even more, even deeper with the songs, with the message of the songs. And your connection with Manuel as well is from another world. And I'm so pleased and so grateful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
And then the other main thing was the unleashing of creativity. Yeah. I was already a musician. I played guitar before doing this work, but after taking ayahuasca, it's like the music just like took like a a lot of energy, like lots and lots of creativity, lots of playing music. It really helped me develop as a musician.
Sure, yeah. And for anybody who hasn't experienced a retreat with Manuel, the music's such an important part of the whole thing, and the music that you play is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And you're on a roll, really, because you've got lots and lots of discs. I don't know how do we say that in English? CDs, online now. So
Yeah.
I'll put the links of your music in the video as well.
Y llama al calor del fuego que nos alumbre su luz, y llama al fresco del agua que nos limpie el corazón.
And how important is the music, do you think, in a ceremony?
Yeah, it's really important because it helps navigate the experience. Sometimes ayahuasca can be quite challenging because it confronts you with traumas, conflicts, pain. It confronts us with the parts of ourselves that are more challenging. And the music, it brings comfort to this. It's a bit like we can go through a very difficult and painful experience, but the music is there for soothing and,
Sure.
like the message is, you can make it, there is love, or you are loved,
Sure.
and it makes it bearable.
That's a nice way to describe it. And the last question, you've been doing this for a long time, and there are lots of sort of anecdotal stories about people who've had tremendous healing from ayahuasca, but also on a physical level sometimes. Does any experience come to mind that you've seen over the years?
Well, let me think. I've noticed like people coming with fibromyalgia. They experience like a release from pain afterwards. As I mentioned before, addiction. People suffering from addiction.
Sure.
They manage to get free from it. I haven't seen it myself, but I have heard about people getting cured from serious diseases like cancer or also like psychosomatic diseases. It can help. I think the most thing that I remember was some people suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that they had tried unsuccessfully with other therapies and didn't work, and with ayahuasca they managed to heal.
Fantastic.
From that is a really good way of healing trauma.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Fantastic. Well, Manuel, thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you for this interview as well.
Hey.
And the details of Manuel's music will be down below. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed listening to some people who were on the ayahuasca retreat. And if you're curious, if you're interested in maybe trying it, give it a go. Truly, there isn't anybody I've talked to who said, I feel worse after having done this. Nobody. Everybody, without exception, across 5 years has said, it has changed my life. So there's got to be something in that, hasn't there?